This conference
Very,
will now be recorded.
very good morning, Shagati and Astika. Okay, let's wait for your friends to join. Okay, only 50 members have joined. Very good morning, Disha. Good morning, Geeta Devi. So, Geeta, you were absent for yesterday's class, right? Okay, my fine. So, we discussed regarding Java Virtual Machine Architecture. So, again, I will have a refreshing session now. So, kindly make a note of it. Okay. Still 25 members need to join our session. The whole strength for our Java programming session is around 86. Okay, fine. Shall we start our session or shall we wait for 2 more minutes? Hope it's already 9:37. Okay, let them join. Shall we start our session? Guys, kindly acknowledge. Whether am I audible or not? Okay, thank you, Malavika and Madhumita. Okay, we can start our session, isn't it? Okay, before we start our today's session, can anyone tell me what are all the things which we have discussed in our last session? If you guys need, you can join with this code and give your answers, or else you can give your answers in the text box. JVM architecture. Okay, good, Malavika. So, as very good. Priyadarshini, Manimonisha also have given their answers. We have seen JVM architecture. So, what are all the main components of a JVM architecture? Okay, as we have seen methods, heaps. Yes, okay, fine. So, but what is the main? Okay, fine. Class loader, memory area, and execution engine. Okay, fine, good. As Navin Vishok also has given us answer. So you guys can log in into QSE26 using Nearpod. QSE26. QSE26. So that your answers automatically will come on this board. I do not want to copy and paste it here. So yes, so we have seen like yes, very good Disha, Ramesh Kumar, Kanmani also gave their answers like class loader, memory area, and execution engine, isn't it? So yes, very good. So these are all the three main components when we say about JVM architecture. So what is the function of this class loader, ma? Any idea? Do you remember what are the things which we have seen yesterday? Any idea? Okay, Mani Monisha has given her answer like loads dot class file in JVM as very good. Naveen Vishak answer is like loading, linking, and initialization as good. So these are all the process which is done inside the class loader subsystem. But what is the main function of the class loader system? Abdin Keto Abdina, its job is to do the load the class file, which is the bytecode, which is nothing but the bytecode. So the bytecode will be the output of the Java compiler. So whatever output is given by this Java compiler, it will be of the bytecode. So it will be with an extension dot class extension, isn't it? So this dot class extension will be loaded into the Java virtual machine by means of the class loader subsystem. Yes. So this till this you are clear, right? So after the class file has been loaded into the Java virtual machine by means of the class loader system subsystem, then where it goes? So after being loaded, what is the next process or what is the next stage of operation in JVM? Yes, very good. Yes, very good. Mani, Monisha, Madhumita, and Tarun. It will be moving for the memory area. As memory area or memory allocation as Disha. Okay. So in memory area, how many compartments are there? As far as JVM is being considered, five. Yes, very good. So what are they? Can you name them? Yes, I will say the methods. You guys tell me whether it is correct or not. So the first one is the method area. Okay. And second one is the heap area. Okay. And third one is the stack area. Okay. And fourth one is the PC register. And fifth one is the native method stacks. So is it correct? Method area, heap area, stack, and program counter register, native and stacks. Okay, fine. So what is the job of this particular method area? Method area oda வேலை என்னமா? What does it store? மெமரினாலே கண்டிப்பா ஸ்டோரேஜ் பர்பஸ்க்காக தான் யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். எஸ் வெரி குட் திஷா அண்ட் மதுமிதா. Data about data. Yes, very good Naveen and Manimonisha. Yes, good Kanmani. We will be storing the metadata. Metadata is nothing but the data about the data. A data which gives the specific and even more particular information about the data which is to be stored. Yes, very good Ritika. It will be storing the metadata. So you guys are clear with the metadata, right? So dot class file pathina extra datas dot class pathina dot class file oda description எல்லாமே வந்து எங்கம்மா ஸ்டோர் ஆயிருக்கும். It will be stored in the metadata, sorry, method area. Okay, fine, you guys are clear with that. And next, what about this heap area, heap memory area? As it is like a Google Drive. Yes, very good. So whichever thing which is related to the memory, it will be stored. Yes, very good. It stores arrays and objects. Yes, very good. It stores variables, strings. Either it could be an integer array or a string array, or it could be a character array. The thing which is related to arrays, objects, and variables. Yes, variables containing memory relating variablesங்கிறத வேரியபிள்னாலே மெமரி ரிலேட்டட் தானமா. ஒரு வேரியபிள் நம்ம டிக்ளேர் பண்றோம்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா பேக் ஸ்டேஜ்ல ஒரு மெமரி அலோகேட் ஆகுது. நம்ம ஒரு பிளேஸை ரிசர்வ் பண்ணி வைக்கிறதுக்காக ஒரு வேரியபிளை டிக்ளேர் பண்றோம். கரெக்ட்டுங்களா? நம்ம வேல்யூஸ் இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நம்ம பஸ்ல போறோம் அப்படின்னா நம்ம ஒரு பேக்கோ பர்ஸோ வச்சு நம்ம இடம் பிடிக்கிறது இல்லைங்களா? ஸோ அங்க பர்ஸ் வச்சு அப்படின்னா அந்த பர்டிகுலர் பிளேசஸ் ரிசர்வ், வேற யாரும் வந்து உட்கார மாட்டாங்க. நான் போனா நான் தான் அந்த டேட்டா, நான் போய் அங்க ஈஸியா உட்காந்துக்கலாம். அதுதான் ஒரு வேரியபிளும். ஓகேங்களா? நிறைய மெமரி ஸ்பேஸ் இருக்கு. பஸ்ல எப்படி நிறைய நம்பர் ஆஃப் சீட்ஸ் இருக்கும், லைக்வைஸ் we will be having many number of in bus we will be having many number of seats. So if I put a bus or a paper or something or a towel, I can occupy that seat so that no one will enter in that particular seat. The data is I am. Okay, if I go there, I can occupy that place. So this is what the variable is also doing. So I will be reserving a particular memory allocation by means of the variable. So variable, if I tell variable, it is obviously relating to the memory allocation only, memory location only. Okay. So variables, arrays, objects, and strings are stored in the heap area. Yes, very good. This is like a Google Drive. There is a common memory area. So whichever thread or whichever function want to access those variables or arrays or strings or objects, they can go there, access them, and then they can bring it back to their local memory area. Okay, so you guys are clear with the heap area, right? So now tell me the process behind the stack area. Stack area, what process will be done? As very good, it will be creating the, as good Tarun and Madhu, it will be creating a local memory temporary storage area. As very good, as good Mani Monisha, it will be having multiple threads as well. As very good Mahar and Disha, it will be storing the collection of objects. Yes. So for example, thread 1 requires one variable. Similarly, thread 2 also requires one variable, or thread 3 requires some arrays, and thread 4 requires some objects. Okay, so all these four threads will be going to that common area, which is nothing but the Google Drive kind of thing, which is a heap area. They will go there, access there whatever they need, and they come back to their original place. So in that original place, they have to store the access to data. So for that, they will be creating a temporary memory storage. So for thread 1 stack area will be created. For thread 2 stack area will be created. So this is what will be happening in the stack area. Yes, very good, very good. Next, what about this PC register? Yes, very good, very good. I could say enormous number of responses. Good, very good. As Disha, Malavika, Manimonisha, Madhumita, Mahar Pranadi, they have given the answers like it will be storing the address of JVM instruction which is currently being executed. Exact. Very true. As it will, whatever, as we have seen, multiple threads have been accessed what they want. So after they get what they want, they will be executing the instructions. So each and every thread will create a okay, the question is that all the threads will use the same PC register, or will it create their own PC memory? Their own, in the sense they will be allocating, like PC register is like one full container, so it will be having many compartments. So each thread will be taking one compartment, isn't it? So am I true? Whether my statement is true, are you guys agreeing with me? Yes, it is true, right? So each and every thread will be occupying some space, and they will be creating a separate PC register for their particular function. For example, if I'm having thread 4, means thread 1 will be having PC register 1, thread 2 will be having PC register 2. So for their, if, because thread 1 may have 10 lines of code, thread 2 may have 20 lines of code. So thread 1 is a separate function, thread 2 is a separate function. So to store the current instruction execution address, I need PC register 1 for thread 1. For thread 2, I need PC register 2 for that particular function's current memory address. So likewise, PC register will also be created for every threads. Okay, so are you guys agreeing with me? Are you guys clear with this PC register? Shall we move on to the native stacks? Yes, so what about this native stacks? Any idea? Yes, very good. It has bytecode with equivalent machine code. So how do they get this equivalent machine code? So they will be hitting the native library by means of the native machine interface. Yes. So after this native stacks, as it has similar data elements as a JVM stack. Yes, very good. So after they hit the library and they get the equivalent data, what is the next step? What is the next step? So memory area part has been completed. So from memory area, what is the next step? As the data will be passed to the execution engine. So in execution, is execution engine a single part, or else do it have any components inside the execution engine? If yes, how many? Yes, three is there. Yes, good, Disha, Monisha. So there are three components which are there in the execution engine. So can you name them? Yes, very good. It is interpreter, JIT, just-in-time compiler, and garbage collector. Yes, very good. So the equivalent code will be given to the interpreter. Interpreter does the conversion process. So as interpreter will be executing line by line process, then this JIT compiler is used to speed up the process by uh, compiling the data simultaneously. So like the pipeline execution process. Okay, so the unused memory locations will be collected by the garbage collector, and it will be released for the other programs to use that particular memory, isn't it? So hope you guys are clear about this JVM architecture. Do you have any doubts? Shall we proceed with the next one? So you guys know JIT means it's just-in-time compiler, JDK means it is Java Development Kit, and JRE means it is Java Runtime Environment. Compiler converts the Java code to the bytecode. Interpreter converts the machine code to the, sorry, bytecode to the machine code, isn't it? And we will be having the bytecode with dot class extension and Java file with dot Java extension. JVM is responsible for automatic memory management as well as platform independent nature. Okay, so hope you guys are clear with all these points. Shall we have a quick match the following kind of activity? So guys, kindly log in into Nearport. Very simple. Okay, you just need to. So this is the code MWCPY. Meaning in the if you're not logging with this code, means you guys will not be able to take up the quest. It is MWCP5. The questions will be very easy. I have just conveyed the answers just now. The code is MWCP5. Guys, again, I need to convey this point. So whenever you're joining the Java program, kindly be logged in into Nearpod as well as Slido. Keep it ready. So once I give the code, you can directly paste the code and join the session as soon as possible. Okay. So www.nearpod.com, or else if you guys have downloaded the app, means you can just enter the code in your app. It's MWCP5. Kanmani, Praveen, Balaji, Navin, Vishak, Gokul Prasad, they have arrived. Hope they have started during the activity. Okay, roll number 18. I don't know who is he or she. Okay, Madhumita joined. Praveen started working. Gayatri Priyadarshini joined. Pradeep. So far, 12 members have joined. Out of 72, only 12 have joined. Okay, Benildis, Disha, Deepak joined. Have you guys joined? Only 18 members have joined so far. Okay, Balaji has completed. Very good, Balaji. With 6 tries itself, he has completed. Gokul Prasad completed. Kanmani completed. Kindly, guys, kindly make it fast, please. Just okay, Nikhil also completed. Roll number 18 completed. 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 Okay, fine. So this is just to make you guys or you aware of those things. That's it. Okay, shall we quickly see the answer? So the first one is interpret. This is like match the following. So if you tick interpreter means, then immediately you should click on the answer of interpreter so that you will be getting a you will be okay. So interpreter. So what matches with the interpreter here? What is the answer for this interpreter? It's is it machine bytecode to the machine code? Guys, am I audible? Okay, so interpreter, what does an interpreter do? What will be the answer? Yes, very good. So it is bytecode to the machine code. So it is correct. And if I take JDK, what suits for JDK question? Yes, it is Java Development Kit. Okay, JVM means Java Virtual Machine as well. And next is just-in-time compiler, JIT as good. And compiler, either it is Java runtime environment or Java bytecode to, sorry, Java program to bytecode. Java program to bytecode. And JR is obviously Java runtime environment. So that's it. So as many of you have given your answers, if possible, kindly anyone take the snapshot of it and kindly send it to me through WhatsApp. Is anyone taking snapshot? Okay, thank you, Manimohinsha. This till this have you taken? Shall I scroll down my screen? Okay, da, thank you. Thank you, Manimonisha. So yes, now let's quit this. So now let's move on to our next part. Okay, next is just to have a note of it. Okay, so this is software code compilation and execution process for whatever software program it could be. This is just for your information. Okay, so it needs an editor, compiler, linker, loader, and then execution. Okay, so editor for writing a program and compiler to compile the program so that our higher language program will be converted into the native machine code. So we need a linker to combine different program file reference. So if I tell like this, you guys will not be able to understand. Now look at this program, sorry, look at this picture. So this is a C code compilation and execution process. So how a C code is being executed and how our Java code is being executed. Okay, so now tell me, this is a main function. In a main program, I have two functions named F1 and F2. So my main program is stored in a file. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the name of that particular main program has been stored? File name of this main program? See, this is a C program. Okay, main F1 and F2. So it is saved. So I have saved this file with .c extension. So can anyone tell me what is the name of this file? What is the file name of this particular program? It is there. Yes, it is a1.c. So our main function is stored in the file a1.c. Our main function is having another more two functions, which is f1 and f2. Now come back to this picture. Okay, so this f1 is stored in another file, whereas f2 is stored in another file. Okay, so what is the file name of f1 and what is the file name of f2? Guys, am I audible? I couldn't see any responses in the chat box. Yes, it is. Function f1 is stored in file a2.c, whereas function f2 is stored in file a3.c. Okay, fine. So now we are all clear with this point. Okay, so if I want to execute this main program, okay, if I want to execute this main program, only this a1.c file will be sufficient enough to run this particular program. If I want to execute this main program, okay, whether it is sufficient only to have this a1.c file or do I require any other files or functions? Mind the main program in the particular a1.c I'm running execute பண்றேன் ஓகேங்களா இதை நான் execute பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா இந்த a1.cங்கிற ஒரு ஃபைல் மட்டும் இருந்தா போதுமா or else do I need support from someone? If yes, what is that support? Guys, is it confusing? See, main, no, I have written a program, main function. So I have saved those particular two lines of code in a1.c file. Okay. And this function f1 and a function f2 is not defined in this. I mean, it is not created in this a1.c. It is created in another two files, which is saved with file name a2.c and a3.c. Okay. So if I want to execute this one particular file a1.c, I cannot execute it alone. I need the help of a2.c as well as a3.c because I have done only the function call here, isn't it? I have done only the function call here, but the function definition is inside the a2.c. Now, function I have just called it, but what that particular function has to do for my program is there in this a2.c and a3.c, isn't it? So for running a single program, it is I mean as far as this particular program is being considered, for running this particular single program, I need the help of A2.c as well as A3.c. So which means in the backstage, this A2.c as well as A3.c is also being compiled. Hope you guys agree with my point. Isn't it? Yes. So it all the three files will be given to the compiler. So all these three files A1.c, A2.c and A3.c is given to the compiler. So after it is being compiled, it will be creating the objects. That is the compiler code. Compiled code will be created for all those programs. Okay. Okay. So after combining, hope I have missed that particular picture. Just a minute. Guys, just hold on. I will share my screen now. Is the screen visible? Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, so all these this compiler will create a different compiled codes. Object file contains this machine code. The output from the compiler will be the corresponding object files. So I need to see if I want this A1 object to be executed, means I need A2 dot object as well as I need A3 dot object. So what this linker will do is it will link all those objects and finally it will be linking all those things and then it will be executing. Okay, so this is how the compilation execution process occurs in C code compilation. Okay, are you clear with this? Do you have any doubts? So A1 dot object like A1 file corresponding on a machine code will be there. In A2 dot objects, equivalent code of for A2 dot C file will be there, and in A3 dot object, equivalent code for A3 dot C will be there. All those will be combined and then executed. So this is how the C programming will be compiled and executed. So if I look at the Java program, the same scenario, I have a main function. Okay, in that I have called two functions f1 and f2. It is saved with .java extension as it is a Java file. So the name is similar, a1.java, and function f is stored in a2.java as well as function f2 is stored in a3.java. So if I want to run this a1.java file, means obviously I need a help of a2.java file as well as the a3.java file. So all these three Java files are given to the compiler. Okay, so the output of the compiler is obvious that it will be a bytecode, isn't it? So till now, we hope you guys will be will be clear. So as it is a bytecode, what is the extension for a bytecode? In what extension this bytecode will appear, or else it will be the compile code will be from Java compiler. With what extension the bytecode file will be there? Okay, guys, am I audible? Do you understand the question which I asked now? As it is dot class, bytecode will have dot class extension. So there a1 dot object was created, but here a1 dot class, a2 dot class and a3 dot class has been created. Okay, so after this, what has happened in C programming compilation? After all those objects has been created, that is equivalent native machine code has been created, what is the next step in C programming? C programming la compilation part முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் என்னமா ஆச்சு? It was creating a1 dot object, a2 dot object, right? Guys, are you responding? I couldn't see any responses in the chat box. Okay, fine. Let me tell. A1 dot class, A2 dot class, after A3 dot class, there was a linker to link all those objects and finally it has executed. but in Java, no such execution is done. Okay. So if I have 1 to 3 classes, means each and every class will be loaded into the JVM architecture. Okay. Each and every class will be loaded into the JVM architecture. There is the no linker. Okay. Guys, clear? Can I expect a response? Does it sound confusing to you? Are you clear? Kindly acknowledge. Okay, fine. Okay, so each and every class will be loaded into the JVM architecture. Okay, so this is what is happening here. Can you look at this picture now? I told I will be explaining this concept later, right? So each and every, for example, A1 dot class, A2 dot class, A3 dot class. So this will be loaded here. So in this class loader subsystem only, all these classes are loaded. So it will be first fetching how many classes are there. So three class files are here. For example, I'm telling. So these three class files will be loaded. Okay, and then it will be verifying it, verifying whether a1 dot class is alone sufficient enough to execute that particular file. No, it is not enough. It needs a2 dot c and then a3 dot c, so that it will be verifying and preparing, and then if it has any problem means it will resolve and combine all those files, that is a1 dot class, a2 dot class and a3 dot class in this linking stage. Okay, and finally it is ready for initialization. It is ready combined and it is ready for moving into the memory area. Guys, clear? Is it clear now why we are having the three-stage process in that class loader subsystem? I told you, no, I will be explaining it later. Before that, we will need to know some concepts. So this is what the concept behind. We do not have a linker as other programming languages have, because as it is a bytecode, it will be all the linking process will be done only in the Java architecture, because normal linker does not know how to execute the bytecode. Only JVM architecture is capable of that. So that linking process is done only inside the JVM. Guys, clear? Can I expect a response? I couldn't say any response. Shall I take it for granted and proceed? Okay, fine. So you guys are comfortable with JVM, right? So the next hero we are going to study about is the Java Development Kit. Okay, JDK. So if I want, I told that if I want to run a C programming, I need a environment which supports C programming, isn't it? So if I want to run a Python program means I need an environment which supports Python code, isn't it? Likewise, if I want to run my Java code and Java applications means obviously it also requires an environment which supports Java, isn't it? Say I cannot say, for example, if an application can be downloaded from the Play Store, means I can download it only from this Play Store, and the same particular application cannot be used for an Mac OS, I mean the Apple iPhone, right? So because I need an environment to run that app which supports that particular app, isn't it? So which is not there in this OS. When compared, whichever apps has been downloaded from the Play Store cannot be used in OS, because it does not support that particular app, because it doesn't have that environment to support that app. Okay, hope you guys can relate it. So likewise, if I want my Java to be if I want to run any Java programs, or if I want to do any Java related functions, means obviously I should need a runtime environment so that I can execute Java programs. Okay, so if I want for setting up Java, things will need. So if you guys have already attended the Java programming IOC course, means hope you guys already know about this, and you might have installed it in your system. Okay, hope Disha and 2 3 students from ECA have installed, and they have sent me snapshots of doing programs and asking doubts. Okay, okay, we should have the, what are all the things we require, means we should have the Java runtime environment. So as we have studied, JVM is a part of Java runtime environment. So if you have JRE, automatically your JVM will be installed into your system, and a Java developer kit, which is nothing but the Java compiler. Okay, and finally a text editor to write your programs. So we need a Java runtime environment and Java developer kit. And instead of a text editor, you you may also have an integrated development environment, which is nothing but the software application that provides a comprehensive facilities to computer programmers for software development. Okay, like NetBeans, Eclipse, and IntelliJ. Okay, a third party application to run a Java program. It will be having a package is in itself, so that it will be easy for us to develop many programs or applications. Okay, either you can have a text editor, or else you can have an integrated development environment. What are all the available அப்படின்னு கேட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா, mostly NetBeans, Eclipse, and IntelliJ is preferred. Okay, so but we are, as far as we are going to use Eclipse as an integrated development environment. Okay, so for example, I could say you can even execute your C programming using command prompt, but we are using Turbo C, right? It is specially designed software application to run C programs and C++ programs, isn't it? So that is an integrated development environment. Okay, so integrated development environments, you can using that software, you can integrate to any database, or you can integrate to any other servers, and so that you can make your application to access those servers, access those database and all. So with the help of those development environment, you guys will be able to create a user and Java application. So that is a big facility which is available in integrated development environments, that is not available in a text editor. In a text editor, normally you can write a code, save it, that's it. Okay, so these are all the three main things you need. So once you develop, download JDK itself, all JRE and JDK will be automatically installed in our system. Okay. Guys, am I audible? Okay, fine. So I have given the link here. If you click on the link, you can be directed to that particular web page, and you can download your JDK compiler kit. Okay. So these are all the different versions of JDK. So you can just have an overview if I send this PPT via Google Classroom. Okay. And what are all the JDK editions we have is Java Standard Edition, Java Enterprise Edition, and Java Micro Edition. So what is this Java Standard Edition is used for, means it is used to develop client side standalone applications or applets. Okay, so if you're not going to connect with any servers, just for your within your environment you're going to use, means with that you can make use of Java Standard Edition, or as Enterprise Edition, in the sense client server based application. So client will be there, you are going to hit some servers, and then you're going to work means Java Enterprise Edition, that is J2EE can be used. So if it is you are going to develop any application for mobile devices means, for that you can make use of the Java Micro Edition. So as of now, do not get confused with this, just have a knowledge on what kinds of JDK editions is available. Okay. Okay, as I told you, so if you hit on this URL, you will be directed to your page. It will be visible like this. Okay, so if you hit on this URL, okay, if you hit this URL, you will be directed to your web page. Your web page looks similar to this. Okay. So here you could see JDK download, isn't it? So now JSE version 16 is available, but in my system I have downloaded this Java 8 version, okay, JDK 8. So if you scroll down, you will be able to see different versions, okay. You can just make use of this Java SE Development Kit 8 version, Java JDK 8 version, okay. So if you are having a 64 or 30 depends, you will have options there. So as my system is the 64-bit, I have downloaded a 64-bit version, okay. So go to this website. So if you hit on that URL, okay, you will be directed to this website. So the latest version is 16.16th version. So you can go here Java SE8, and you can click on JD. You can click on this JDK download, okay. And if you click on this JDK download, you'll be having an option. So if you are having a Mac OS or a Linux systems or in Windows systems, so it is available. So Windows, mostly all of them will be having Windows 64-bit. So I can click on this. So once you start click on this, you could see it starts. It will be a pop-up page will be open. Just click on accept terms and agreements and click on the download button. So automatically your download starts. Okay. So I have already downloaded. I do not want to download. So I am quitting this. Okay. So once you have downloaded,
Ma'am, can you share this link to us, ma'am, in the WhatsApp group? Or else share to anyone with one person and they'll just share in to everyone.
I will share this PPT, or else if you want, you can just type on JDK8. Okay, I will share this now in chat box.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I will be sharing this PPT in Google Classroom. So from that also you can take. Is it okay to download the latest version, but our system requirement should be up to that level. So it's JDK 8 supports a medium level also. That's why I have suggested to you to use JDK 8. Even in companies, industries also, till now they are using JDK 8 only. So that is itself more than enough for us. Okay, Ravi Teja, you already have 15.0.1. That's okay, not a problem. Okay, fine. Shall we proceed? Okay, so after that you will be given with Java Platform JDK 8. So as I told you, know, you hit on the accept arguments, click on it, and it will be downloaded, and you could see the download file in your downloads. So after the download is complete, go to the folder where the file was downloaded and click on it. Hope you guys know how to install it. So the installation starts and it would take few minutes. So after that, it will be asking for something. Click on next, next, next. Okay, it will be there in the download folders. Go there. Okay, let me show you. So it was there. Hope you guys can see here. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
it is here. Okay, so an application will be downloaded like this. Just click on it. Okay, so if you click on it, it starts installing in your system. It asks for something like where like my location and also. Just click on next and accept the agreements and click on install. It will automatically install it in your system. Okay, so after installing, that is not only the process. Okay, so you're not done after the installation complete. So after that, you need to do some steps. Okay, so what is the step in the sense? Okay, so after you install it in your system, okay, if run that application, it will get installed in your system. So after installing, just go to my computers. Okay, guys, go to my computer, right click, properties. Okay, so for those who already know this, uh, it's okay. For those who do not know, just make a note of it. Go to there, right click, go to computer, right click, properties. You could see advanced system settings. Okay, right click, properties, advanced system settings. Click on advanced system settings and click on environmental variables. Okay, right click, properties, advanced system settings, and then you could see environmental variables. Just click on environmental variables. A dialog box will be open. Okay, and then here you could see a variable called path and then value. Click on that path and click on edit. Okay, see, click on path, click on edit. Okay, so you could see some paths are there. So keep it as it is. Now again go to your C drive. Where is it? Okay, C drive, and then program files. So you could see you have installed Java, no? So once it started, once it has been installed, you could see a Java folder in your C programming, sorry, C disk program files. So click on Java. So I have downloaded 8th version. So click on JDK. See, I have just downloaded JDK, but you could see there has been a folder Java RE, sorry, JRE also, which is Java runtime environment. So once you download JDK, automatically JRE gets added up to a system. Okay, so click on JDK, click on bin. That's it. You have to move to local disk C, program files, Java, your compiler, whichever version you have downloaded, and first folder bin. Just click on there. Okay, just copy that path. That's it. Okay, copy that path. Now come to this environmental variable settings. Okay, and click on edit. As you could see, I have pasted it here. Just whatever thing you have pasted there, just right click and paste it here. One more thing to notice that you have to finish the before path, terminate the before path with semicolon, and then you have to paste it here. Okay, so as you could see, it is being here. C programming, program files, Java, sorry, C drive, program files, Java, JDK, and then bin folder. So that's it. So click on OK, OK, OK. So what I have done is I have installed I have instructed my system. I have installed a Java compiler. So I'm telling my compiler path to my system. So if I run my programs using command prompt, it will be automatically it will be making use of this particular path, and it will recognize, okay, this is a Java compiler, and it will start executing our program. Okay, so as we do not have any, this is for installing our Java in our system. So if we do not want to go for any third party apps and I want to execute my program only with command prompt, means this helps me. Okay, and also for a third party application also you are going to run a Java programming. So this is the main step. Okay, guys, clear? So everything is there in this PPT. So click properties, advanced systems, environmental links, click on system variables, click on edit. Okay, so depending upon your windows, this dialog box may vary, but that is the step. Okay, click the edit button and then paste. So if the edit text field place a semicolon at the end of any existing parts, okay, and paste it, press OK, restart your restart is not required. Okay, guys, clear till now? So after install, all this process has been completed. So what is the next step to check whether it has been successfully executed or not? Okay, just go to command prompt, cmd command prompt, okay, and type path. So you could see it is showing C programs Java, so which means it is there in my system, and I want to check whether my Java has been successfully installed or not. Click on Java hyphen version, click on enter. So see, it is telling Java version 1.8.0 underscore 291. So successfully it has been initialized. Okay, or a simple I will tell us simply I will tell how to run a program in command prompt. Okay, as we have already 10:30 now, so a detailed session we can see it in our next class. Okay, see in D folder I have an echo.java a program. Okay, what is its location? A D folder. So I'm moving to D drive, sorry, D colon. Okay, now so in this D colon I need to set my compiler because I'm going to run this program in the so within double quotes, I'm pasting the path again and I'm hitting on enter. In command prompt to compile a Java program, the program name is echo.java. So Java, see Java compilation followed by program name dot Java extension. So I do not have any error. So it is again, it is showing the prompt. Okay. To run that program, Java is the keyword and then the file name without the Java extension. So I'm hitting on enter. So this program is like whatever I enter, it will repeat it. So that's it. So this is how we will be running the Java programs in the command prompt. Okay, so in this D folder only I'm having this particular Java file. So in this D folder, if I execute only in this D folder means it is not having an environment which could run the Java folder. So from that C drive has brought the path to this D local file, D drive. So what will happen if I ask this Java file to get executed means as I have set the path in my command prompt in D folder, set path is equal to. So whenever this echo.java is called, it will automatically move to this folder, which means it is automatically moving to the compiler part and compiler is taking that input and compiling and producing as the output. Okay. Is it clear? So this running path alone, we can see even more detailed in our next session. So before that, this installation process and path variable setting, is it clear? I will share this PPT in our Google Classroom by today. So if you guys have any doubts, you can verify there. And still, if you do not have successful installation means you can contact me. Okay. Guys, are you clear? Are you comfortable?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then.
It's clear, ma'am.
Okay, ma, fine. So if you do not have, if you're not clear also, I have a detailed explanation for each and everything in this PPT itself. Okay, you can verify it. Okay. Okay, ma. Thank you. Thank you for joining a session. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all. Enjoy your Sunday tomorrow. Thank you.